Okay, hi, I'm Amy, and I am going to be talking about Drivetrain wheel enhancement today. So first off, quick all about me. This is my first year in FTC, and I'm current member of 18227 Area 52. I'm in the hardware team, and I'm an 8th grader at Dell Middle School in McKinney. In my free time, I play cello and piano, and I also play around with my radio sometimes. And my call sign is K5PIK. Okay, so I'm gonna be showing 2 clips next up, and I want you guys to kind of compare like these 2 clips. And for the first clip, I really want you guys to pay attention to what issues are going on. So. Yeah, okay, so does anybody want to share what they found? Okay, yeah, Alex.
The robot was stuck on the barrier.
Yes, that is the point. So you can see that it was stuck for a very long time. That was about 10 seconds. It was stuck on there for a long time. And you would probably be thinking, we have a very high clearance under the mechanism wheel, so why would we get stuck for so long? And I'm going to be talking about that later. And here is the second clip. Okay, so in the first clip they went over very smoothly, and in the second clip they did get somewhat stuck, but they were able to get out of it very quickly, unlike the first one where it was stuck for a long time. And
they got penalties right there because you were moving 3 or 4 blocks at the same time. So.
Yeah, and then so we had a high clearance, but there wasn't enough traction under the mechanism wheels, so it wasn't able to get out of the barrier in a short amount of time. So it was wasting like 5 to 10 seconds every time we went over the barrier, which is very time consuming. And now that we know the problem, we need to find how to fix it. So we wanted to keep the agility that we got from mechanism wheels, but at the same time we needed more traction so we weren't wasting time on the barriers. And some teams have designs that can get these functions, such as 7172. They have a demo of it in their YouTube videos. So now that we know what we want, we need to find out what type of wheels and drivetrains we're going to use. So I'm going to go over each of them briefly. So first of all, mechanism wheels. They have great agility, but the traction there's not a great traction. And Rhino wheels, these wheels have really good traction. Omni wheels, they can go forward and sideways, but they're less energy efficient. And terrain wheels, they're pretty good on rough surfaces, and they do fairly well too on hard, flat surfaces. Gecko wheels are mostly used for intake, and they're very soft and grippy. Next up is the drivetrains. So first of all, we have Tank, which is one of the common ones. They use all traction wheels, and there's a problem with strafing on this one because they take a lot of time to turn. Next up is mechanism wheel. Great agility, but as I said before, lacking traction. Next is Slive/H drive, and it's very similar to Tank drive, but instead of using traction wheels, they use Omni wheels, and they have 1 or 2, usually 1 Omni wheel that's horizontal, and it's linked to a gearbox. And what that does is it makes sideways strafing easier. And butterfly wheels, it's more the less common ones. So regularly, they use Omni wheels, and when they need more traction, they have traction wheels that can go up and down when they want. And there's also Octocanum, which uses mechanism wheels regularly, and then when they need traction, they use traction wheels. And quick side note, butterfly wheels and octocannon wheels are most commonly used in FRC, not FTC. So this is a quick table summarizing all the aspects of different drivetrains. Just to clarify, so agility means reactiveness, or just agility actually. And strength is push force. Motors is the number of motors it uses. So the lower the number it is on this chart, it means like the less motor it uses. And program means how hard it is to program. Drive means like how hard it is for the drivers to control the drivetrain during games. Traverse is essentially strafing. Design is how complex the design is. So like the lower the number is, the more complex it is. And weight would be just how heavy it is. And some of the numbers are from like other teams' experiences, and there's not a lot of teams that use octocannon. So the column for octocannon is our estimate based off of like butterfly drive and mechanism drive. So after analyzing all of that, we decided that octocannon drive would be the best for us. So using 4 mechanism wheels and 4 traction wheels. And we're using 4 motors to make the wheels rotate, and also 1 motor to switch between 2 driving modes, and I will get to that on the next slide. Real quick, the reason why so most teams that use octocannon or butterfly, they use 6 motors, like 4 to rotate the wheels and 2 to switch between driving modes. And FRC teams sometimes even use 8 motors in total, but we can only use 8 in total for the whole robot due to limitations. So we wanted to use as less motors as possible. And these are side views of my CAD design. So when the traction wheels are up, the programming would just be using regular mechanism drive. And when the traction wheels are down, it would be arcade drive mode. You could also use tank drive if you wanted, but arcade would be a bit better. And then this is a CAD simulation of just the traction wheels going up and down. Yeah, and then here are the references that I used for this presentation. And that's all for the presentation part, so if you have any questions, you can ask. Does anybody have any questions about it?
How does the power get to the, like on the last one that you showed, right? How does the power get transferred?
This one?
How does the power get transferred to the traction wheel?
To the traction wheels? So there's a motor that's linked to this mechanism wheel, and then we're using chains to between these two. So technically this one's the only one that's linked to it.
Even when it is up, it is still moving.
Yeah, it's still turning when it's yeah.
Do you know if that actually helps when you get stuck?
When there's like barriers, obviously the barriers will be raised. So like so let's say that the traction wheels, so if you have your mechanisms down and you're stuck, you could get your traction wheels up, and there's obviously gonna be useful because there's more traction, and at the same time the mechanism wheels are above, so the mechanism wheels might touch the barrier, and so the mechanism wheels could help get it over at the same time, even though it's not like touching the floor.
What caused it to, sorry. You had your hand up, sorry. I didn't want to take, hog the questions. What caused it to, the wheel, that second wheel, what caused it to go down again? Besides the driver said lower that rail, right?
We have a beam connecting that. Yeah, we're trying. The specific details I still have to figure out
Oh,
for now.
okay.
So yeah.
Okay, good. Great job.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Amy. Do you need a few minutes to prepare?
Well, the demo's later on, so as long as you can